on it. 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Okay, I'm going to show you the backlight modification for the Traxxas ATON transmitter. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to wind up taking off the 6 screws. There's 3 on each side. You don't need to remove the batteries. I already took the liberty of taking the screws out. So, now once you crack this open, you're going to find a piece of tape over here. Just remove the tape and it'll give you a lot more extension. So what I wound up doing is I just wound up making a JST plug and wound up desoldering the 2 wires that came off the board and hooked up a JST female. So that gets that out of the way nice and quick. And then with the remaining leads, then you could take and put your other end of your JST right on the existing wires, and that gives you plenty of extension. Now you're going to have some screws that you're going to have to take out. I already took out the other ones. I'm just going to take out the one, show you what I wound up doing, and what's going to wind up happening when you take it apart. Now once you get it to this point, you take your screws out, flip it upside down, but before you do so, take your paddles out. Paddles just slide right out. And they're marked left and right, so you can't mistakenly put them in the wrong spot. So you can just put them in orientation of where they go on your workbench, flip it over, and then lay it down, and then pull off the top. Now, at this point, what's going to come loose if you don't do that is this is going to come off. These are going to come off. And your button's going to come off. Now what I did is I took a little bit of hot glue and I glued that down so it snaps down just a little bit. These here, they just float on there, so you're just going to have to play with these. These are a little bit cumbersome to work with. Another little modification, what I did is coming off the board, I added a little bit of hot glue right here because the wires coming from the stock, because these are the stock wires, I wanted to strengthen them a little bit, so I just added some hot glue right in that little crevice right there. Now, as far as the LEDs that I use for this modification, I'm using the Outlaw. And they have all different colors. You can get white, blue, red, green, whatever color that you choose. I just happen to have some blue ones, and I like the look of the blue LEDs. And you can get that at www.outlawpower.com. Now, as far as the size of the LEDs are small, but mighty, mighty bright. They work on 3.7, 7.4. They claim it works up to 12 to 16 volt, but when I tried it on my 12 volt, it didn't. It started to smolder a little bit. I sent him an email about that, waiting for a return, and finding out why it's doing that on 12 volt. But we don't have to worry about that. So, now coming to your LED screen. On either side of the screen, I don't know what you're going to be able to make out in the video. So basically, all I did is I took the LED light and I placed it on the side with the LEDs facing in and the opening, and I did it on both sides, and then I taped it into place. I didn't want to use any hot glue. I just used some clear tape, packaging tape, and then I ran the wire along the top, joined the red and the red together, the black and the black together, came around the back. Now, when you come to the back side of the board, you're just going to follow your negative lead, and you're going to see the negative post, and that's where you're going to put your negative, and that's going to give you your negative power. Not negative power, but it's going to give you your ground. Now, take orientation of the board, and you can take a look, and that's where the switch is. And I have the power going to the switch, so this way when I turn on the controller, I have power. So what I'll do is I'm going to plug this in, turn it on so you can see. Now you can see the LEDs. I'm going to shut the overhead light off so you can see it a little better. And you can see how she's glowing. Glows all inside and underneath. And it works very well. It's not super bright, not as bright as the LEDs that they are, but you know, we're trying to backlight an LCD screen that's not meant to be lit for some reason. So this modification seemed to work the best. I've tried different LEDs, I've tried different multiple ways of mounting them to underneath, but it seemed like when you put the lights underneath, what winds up happening is the light starts to shine through, and you sort of kind of see the bulbs in a way. So this seemed to work the best. Now when you go to put this away and put everything back together, you just reverse everything that you did. So just keep the wires away from the side of the board over here, because of these little tabs here have to go into these two little holes. As you can see that they're corresponding going into that. So other than that, just keep your wiring tight. Don't make all unnecessary wire that you don't need. Try to make it as tight as you possibly can, and that's pretty much about it. There ain't much to this transmitter. And you can see here's the antenna. So a lot of people were wondering where was the antenna located. So basically it's just coming through the plastic. So maybe I'll do a modification where we can just take it and maybe pop it up through. And maybe, I don't know if you get any more range, but do that in another tutorial if I ever do that. But that's how easy this little modification is. Hope you can use it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.